Almost 3, 2. Yep. Now you are. Good. Live chat. All right, y'all. Welcome.
Welcome to Gym City Live. I am Valcine Brown.
You already know. Look me up. Charles Street.
If you ain't heard about him, if you don't know, now you know. I hear some feedback from your headphones or something.
Gotta turn that down, don't I? It's got to make sure, we're not blasting y'all out. So if you guys, I'm gonna take these headphones out. If you guys are studio engineers, come on in. We got a budget for you guys.
Enchiladas.
Enchiladas and free alcohol.
Yes.
All you can drink. That's
Woo!
gonna be our budget. So yeah, if you know how to push
you
some
know what?
buttons.
You have to be careful. All you can drink. Some people drink you out of house and home.
Oh, I learned from the best. I learned from the bartenders. You start seeing people with deep throats. You just start filling that bottle up with water.
And then you switch into cheap stuff.
But by the time they have so much, they don't
can't
know.
tell.
Yeah, they don't know.
I can't tell. All right, so
crunching all in the thing. Dang, boy, go ahead. That's why we need earphones so you can hear. I hope I'm not crunching anybody's ears.
We want to thank you so much for
Yeah.
for tuning in to our live show. We want to invite you to check out our website. What's that? What's that address?
Gym City.
That's
GymCity.live.
GymCity.live.
.com,
Yes. Want you to subscribe so you can get your morning gyms, push notifications. Hey.
Yep.
Bling.
And you won't be bothered with all that spam and all that. We'll just give you the info out there. So when you heading into work and stuff like that, or wherever you at, you got a good idea of what's going on.
What's going on in the world. I know I like to get my news in the morning over my breakfast. It makes it go down a little easier. Yeah. I don't want to be ignorant to what's going on in the world. And then someone says, "Oh, did you hear about it?" And I'm like, "Huh?" What? Because like I've done these sometimes on the show. You ask me about seeing, have you heard this? I go, yeah.
Speaking of which, I wanted to send you the link. Sometimes when I see a news that is specific to you and what we talk about, Elon Musk.
That's car. My buddy.
Yeah, remember I told you about that discount that they were offering, the tax break. There's another break.
But you know what? Yeah, and I actually looked it up. California no longer has a luxury tax. Other states do, but California doesn't have a luxury tax.
So you did look that up?
I did.
Okay. I know you would. I know you would.
You know I would. Yeah, California did away with the luxury tax. So thank you. It won't cost me more.
So what's today's topic? What are we going to talk about today?
Oh, let's see. We're going to talk about we're going to help keep some of y'all out of trouble. Your Valentine Days do's and don'ts.
Have and have nots.
Yes.
And the McLeans.
Black History Month. We're going to talk about the pros and the cons. I think we're qualified.
Overqualified.
Yes. History and we have a couple of your top 5 topics going on for you today. Today's top 5 topics are books, wheels, health, food, and travel.
Okay. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, hopefully.
So before we get into the topics, let's go ahead and our deep discussion, our deep dive.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and hit those, see what that's like.
Deep dive. All right. Okay. So you remember we talked about last week or the week before that the Attorney General is suing the Sacklers, the head family for that pharmaceutical company. Well, museum patrons are now protesting. People are now protesting museums because the Sacklers had donated to some specific museums. A couple of days ago, people went and dropped all these papers, little
leaflets.
No, they were really small, about this small. So not full leaflets. It was just about this big.
Propaganda.
Propaganda.
Okay.
Protesting the museum. So people are paying attention to what's going on. They're speaking up and they're letting their voices be heard. I ain't with the littering, just so littering. I'm cool on that. But yeah.
What's the littering?
They dropped all the paper. They went up to the top of the
littering.
Yeah, littering.
Okay.
I said littering. What'd I say?
Okay, my bad.
I ain't with the literate.
You said littering.
Yeah,
I'm thinking
littering.
Lutheran church.
No.
I'm way off. See what I'm saying? Yeah, I was way off on that.
Those
My
are two
bad.
different vowel sounds,
Yeah,
lit and Lou.
That's right.
So
My
yeah, they
bus.
went up to the top of the Guggenheim and just dropped them. They lit it like a ticker tape propaganda. There you go.
Well,
So yeah,
that's not new.
no, it's not. But it's, I think it does give us a sense that people are paying attention and they are protesting how they feel like they need to do so.
That's true.
Yeah. What you got for us?
Oh, my thing, I don't know. I did want to talk about, but I didn't want to go too deep because again, we got our subjects that we needed. So we're going to just bounce across these two. And then if you want after that, then we can go deep diving into it.
Okay.
So just to skim the top, it was the blackface thing that's going on in the news.
Yes. And he refuses to step down.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of, I seen a lot of stuff out there, and I typically, I try not to get on the bandwagon and start, beating other people's situations and stuff like that, again, because I honestly, to be totally honest, I'm really not that interested. But when stuff hits, and you have to be careful because if you watch stuff a lot, like the news or whatever it is, or you have these conversations at your workplace or, with at home with family and stuff, then it becomes a part of, the conversation. Sometimes you don't want that to be at your dinner table, but you cannot avoid it, right? Because your kids and your grandkids and
everything is a teachable moment.
They need to know about it. So I think I obviously know he's playing the Trump game in that he came out and admitted it like a human being, and he won my respect for doing that. I'm like, okay, you admitted
but
it.
In all fairness, he couldn't deny it.
Okay, so there you go.
What he gonna say? I did not have sexual relations with Monica Lewinsky.
Well, he did deny it, and in fact, he denied it the very next day. So he came out after he said that he, did it, and said, "Wait, that wasn't me, and I wasn't even there." Yeah. So it's that bullshit.
So he gained your respect and then he lost it that quick.
Fully lost it. And then I've seen people argue both sides. Well, he came out and there's a lot of blacks in Virginia that are supporting him and saying he doesn't need to be out of office because it's a teachable moment, like you mentioned. And that now that he's in office, he's learned from his lesson and he's going to move on and stuff. I'm just like,
ooh, not if he's lying about it. I don't think he learned nothing. I don't think he learned
when you do stuff in your past, 9 times out of 10, it's going to come back and get you. Claim that shit and move on. You got Bezos in the news doing his stuff, and apparently the lady that he was his mistress, the lady that he was sleeping with, let her brother get into her phone. I bet she let him get. She got her phone laying around.
Everybody keeps their phone locked. No right. You gave up that passcode.
You went and slept.
And why your brother in your phone?
That's wicked right there.
I just don't see my children. I don't see them being each other's phone. It's for a specific thing. Show me that picture or just up in your phone. Yeah.
So without going too much into it, that's pretty much, I guess, all I had to say on those subjects because I can't wait to get to these other good ones.
Okay. Well, which way you want? You want to go that way or we're going this way?
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So 6 days after deliberation, Joaquin El Chapo Guzman was found guilty of all 10 counts consisting of drug trafficking and conspiring to commit murder. Okay, now this is one caveat that kind of got me interested. He's already escaped twice from prison.
In Mexico.
Yes, it was in Mexico. Yes. He was held from 1993 and escaped the first time in 2001 from Guatemala. Then he was recaptured in 2014 in Mazatlan and escaped the second time while being held in Mexico's top security prison. Apparently, he bribed some guards and got out through a tunnel.
The only way you're gonna get out.
And so then he was recaptured that was in 2015. He was recaptured in 2016 in Los Mojiques, Sinaloa, after a shootout with the Mexican Marines in which 5 people were killed and 1 Marine was wounded. They then decided to go ahead and extradite him. So he was found guilty. I think the thing that kind of fooled me is a guilty verdict was expected, but it took 6 days to deliberate. So I don't know what was going on there. And I'm interested to see what the sentencing is going to be.
Well, it's gonna be life. What you gonna give him a year?
2 days. And he might get off with probation. You never know. Wrong people be getting off sometimes.
It's gonna be life. Gotta give him life. I mean, they came to America. America paid to have him brought here. So whoever
And now we're gonna
is in
keep paying.
power, yeah, pretty much.
And apparently, his first stint in jail from '93 to 2001, he was still in charge. He was basically running things from prison.
Don't get it twisted. He's still in charge now. Don't get it twisted. That's a game that's so thick. That's a game. That's a whole different lifestyle that we know nothing about.
Mm.
But believe you me, that he gonna still be running things from jail because he's idolized by that community. The lifers in that community and stuff. And they still call the shots from there. Matter of fact, they may more so call it from there than they do call it from outside. So it is what it is. That's the game you play. Live by the sword. Get caught.
Die by the sword.
There it is.
So, did you hear? It's very unlikely that we will have another partial government shutdown. Did you hear? Okay. Well, so a bipartisan agreement has been reached to set aside $1.375 billion for border security. And apparently Trump, although not happy about it because he still wants his $5.7 billion for a wall, he's, it looks like he's going to go ahead and sign the agreement once things are, the tiny details are decided upon. But he apparently is still hinting that he might declare a national emergency. But he basically alludes to the fact that we're out of the danger zone in terms of having another partial government shutdown, which would have taken place this Friday, 2 days from now. So, hey, looks like the IRS will still be there to process my tax return refund.
Then he puts his cronies in front of TV. Sarah Huckabee, Huckabee, Babe Ruth, and says, well, I don't know what the president's going to say, and if he doesn't make anything, then it's got to be all on the Democrats. Yeah, it's just pathetic how people label stuff, and they label it for specific reasons, and the reasons is once you label something, then you can plus or minus it. You can say, you know what, these are these type of people, so we got to bow to them, or these are those kind of people, so they're not.
You can start making these blanket, general glittering statements.
It's like once you label somebody, so that's why you have to be cautious of, these labels and stuff. Democrat, Republic, or whatever it is. It's obviously you have to have some sort of political stance if you're in that arena deep. You're playing the game, and I may even think about running for my little community. You never know.
What?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I had a whim. I had a buddy who's done it down in the Coachella Valley area, and he was in there, and I was surprised. I'm like,
what office did he run for?
He was what was Chris Benz? You know Chris Benz. Yeah, that name doesn't ring a bell. Yeah, he's been.
I know lots of Chris's.
Time. Well, this guy's been around for Palm Springs for a long time.
Okay.
And he's a friend of mine. And when I moved to Palm Springs in 07, 08, somewhere around in there, next thing I know, I turn around and he's up sitting behind. I was like, I don't want to say the title because I don't know politics that much.
Okay.
But I do know he was in City Hall. He could have been
a councilman
member.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He had those kind of things. And I probably ended head on with that.
We should look him up. Yeah. What's his name?
Chris Benz.
Benz
KRIS. B-E-Z.
Like the car.
Yep.
Let me see.
That's right. So yeah.
58. Is that about his age?
Yep. Somewhere around in there. He does. He's got bowling leagues a lot, so you might see a lot about bowling. There's a lot of youth tournaments and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah. So he's an avid bowler. Just a good gentleman.
Interesting.
That's right.
Well, we'll get the rest of the details later. Yeah. So, one more thing.
What's that?
Measles. Oh, okay. Cooties. So, Washington Post shared an article. Oh, no. We're not going there. Sorry. I said measles, but I changed my mind. I wrote a different story.
She meant mumps.
Mumps. Measles, mumps, and rubella. Okay. No, okay. So Washington Post shared an article stating that 2018 was the fourth year in a row that nationwide police have fatally shot nearly 1,000 people. Washington Post writes that they began tracking this data after the 2014 shooting of Michael Brown, an unarmed black man in Ferguson, Missouri. Now, here's the racial breakdown. Of these nearly 1,000 killed every year consecutive for the last 4 years, 45% have been white men, 23% have been black men, 16% Hispanic men, only 5% were women. 25% have been mentally distressed people. And then in terms of armed versus unarmed, 54% were armed with guns, 4% were unarmed.
So it was 45% white men.
Yes.
And how many percent black?
23. Yep.
It's crazy.
Mm.
This is we're 10% of the population.
And 23%.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
It looks like it's a good number. But
because it's lower than white. But considering the fact.
It's not told in totality.
Right.
I do the math. That's slick, actually.
Because if you don't understand the demographic racial breakdown, you might think, oh, it's less than black than white.
Yeah, something Trump
right.
Say.
Okay.
Got the numbers down. It's like he got a $22 trillion deficit right now, the greatest in all time history. So if he's going to be great, that's what he's going to be. He's making America great right now. When you give, I know this is the little bit that I know about politics on that level. When you have a deficit of that magnitude that was created from giving breaks to the extremely rich, basically you just put money in their pockets and you stole it from everybody else.
Exactly because I know my tax refund is about $3,000 short this year of what it was last year. And that's not, and I had an extensive conversation with my tax man, and he says, well, your income increased here, but this goes into that category. So he broke it down for me. He says, really, this is what hurt you. You lost this tax credit right there per kid. So it cost you about $3,000, $3,500. Yeah.
It's a game. It's not meant for you.
No, it's not. Me. But he is hoping and he's optimistic that Democrats will take the office again. And that they historically, we were discussing, historically, they have reversed a lot of the tax breaks or tax pains that were passed on to the lower class citizens, and turn around and gave it back the year after that. So maybe I get it back in 2 years.
It's just
I'm gonna charge you interest on my money.
I seen something on the internet that talked about and we go get into this topic because I want to go too far. We're okay. 17 minutes, but yeah, I did see something on the internet that they kind of said, as far as the political system, it's a joke, it's a game, so don't vote. You shouldn't be. If you vote, then you're part of the problem, and that's one of those arguments that kind of go along with the 45% versus 23%, and it's like the numbers lower. But let me see, if you stand in the middle of the road and there's a car coming at you and you say, don't hit me, and you don't move, you tell me what's going to happen. You about to get plowed over. So the game, because they can't even hear you. You got to be in the game. You got to play the game. Don't be like stick your head in the sand like an ostrich and be like, no, that's not for me. So I'm not playing with your ass in the air. I don't like that policy. But again, it was a comment in a group one of the groups that I run, and so I gave a thumbs up for participation, but I gave a 0 for hitting it on accurate. That's not accurate. So let's go. Valentine's Day. Do's and don'ts. Do's and don'ts. How you do it like this? Square heart. Valentine's Day. Yeah. Peekaboo. I know. All right. So tomorrow's the day for lovers. Do you know that Valentine's Day tops Christmas in terms of cards that are purchased? Yeah, because motherfuckers don't want to get in trouble. Okay, do's and don'ts. Do not give the love of your life a vacuum cleaner. Anything for the house. Anything for the house. Do not give her anything for the house. Period. Okay. Yes. From a woman's standpoint, that's a good note. You bet not
ever.
Okay. So from a man's standpoint, a do is one of our greatest meals that the woman cooks.
All right.
If we had that,
All right.
that's like a good day.
So men don't care so much about going out. They just want a nice one of their favorite meals prepared.
Men do want to show, how much money they made by taking their woman out and going to a place and
But that's
her.
about status.
That's more about status.
Yeah.
Right. That's more about showing this is what I got and this is what I can do. But as far as from my perspective, someone that is in a relationship where you don't have that lifestyle as much, because as I get older, it's not as much as that. That's
about
more
going out. It's more about home and family. Yeah.
I will take my wife out on Valentine's Day, but I don't want to because it seems like you're obligated.
He didn't mean it that way, Jesus.
I meant it that way.
He didn't mean it that way.
I meant it that way.
Don't. That's a don't.
Because I want to take her out once a week.
Oh.
To a good spot.
Oh, okay.
And I want to take her out.
Okay.
Right? On days that it's not, because it seems like now you're out Valentine's Day. Now you're out with all the other posers. And you're amongst the crowd of the false people. Take your woman out on a Tuesday for no apparent reason at all and be
I hear what you're saying.
Dime her up.
I hear what
Chrysler,
you're saying.
Dime her up.
I hear what you're saying.
300.
I hear what you're saying.
So that's where I'm coming with it.
But as a woman, even if you do take me out once a week, it's a regular thing. I don't want to not go out on Valentine's Day. You better make that one night that week on Valentine's Day.
Okay, so that's a good point. So is it a go out day or is it a do something day? And I guess that all depends on
acknowledgement of the day.
But it all depends on what your format is, right?
Right.
Or is it more so than not? I don't care what your format is. You better go out. For a woman.
No. It doesn't have to be go out.
Right. It could be a cook.
Like he could cook.
It could be a massage.
I love a man that can cook.
I'm supposed to rub the feet. It could be candles and some moonlight and just sitting around.
But I need to be fed.
TV.
I need to be fed. He can cook for me. He can cook for me. Absolutely. I love a man that can cook.
I'm gonna massage your feet, baby. What we eating, baby? Domino's.
Corn.
Domino's and corn chips. Get the sauce. Double dip.
I need some dipping sauce. I'm gonna let you double dip today, baby. I'm gonna let you double dip.
Yeah. What about candies, chocolates, and flowers?
Traditionally, that is a nice gesture. I hear a lot of women like that. I think I'm a little different in that regard.
And I bet there are women that don't want to go out, but would love, if you don't give me my chocolates, and my roses, you have to find out.
So I guess that all just shows you need to communicate.
You need to know. You need to already be knowing. You can't find out that day.
Right. No. But you know what? And speaking of the do's and don'ts, there is this book called The 5 Love Languages. Have you read it?
I have not.
Well, this is a book for cuppers. So the 5 love language is the idea. It was actually written by a man.
Well,
so no, let me tell you what it is, and you tell me. Okay. So the whole idea is that people have 5 distinct ways that they show love, and so naturally they understand love return to them in the same way.
Sure.
Exactly. It's like
don't talk about it, be about it.
It's like it's like speaking Spanish and English. If you speak Spanish and I speak English and I'm saying I love you, but you don't understand me, it doesn't matter how much I mean it, you're not hearing it. So the 5 love languages are quality time, physical touch, gifts, acts of service.